Okay, guys, hopefully y'all can hear me. My mic is on, and I'm going to see if I can add my friend Hannah to join me. All right, so she should be hopping on in a moment.
Yay!
I think I hear you. Okay, do you hear me?
I do hear you.
Am I quiet?
You're not super quiet. You're not super loud. Hi, Christy. Will you let us know if the sound is okay? I'm going to change my filter here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of like expecting it not to work. Oh, you said you're changing your filter like to make it swag.
Yeah.
I never mess with those.
Oh, you don't? I love them.
No. When people do them, I'm like, what is that? I can hear you. Hayes Ranch
Oh,
Essentials.
perfect.
Hello there and thank you.
Yes.
Man,
Oh,
okay.
man. So, Christy,
We
that's
got somewhere.
Christy. Desiree, that's Christy. She's on our team. I'm
Christy,
so
okay,
glad you hopped
hi.
on. So we're going to be
Man.
talking about emotions and essential oils today. And we were trying to go live on Facebook, but Facebook was giving us all kind of difficulties. So if you feel like you're a pro at going live and inviting a friend on your live video and you have all the tips, please let us know because we were struggling. But we're just going to talk a little bit about, I'm going to jump right in, Desiree, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Is that good? So we're going to talk a little bit about using or supporting our emotions naturally with essential oils. I will say that this is one area when I first got started with essential oils, I used to think it was just for making my home smell good. Like, yeah, put a diffuser in the bedroom, in the kitchen, in the living room. My home smells great. It's toxin free. But and then I knew like, okay, they support the immune system and they support the respiratory system and they can support the skin really well. But emotions were one of the last places that I dove into as far as using essential oils. And I really honestly thought it was crazy and over the top. But I kept hearing a lot of testimonies and really, really powerful testimonies of women and other children actually who were struggling with some really serious emotions. And due to FDA regulations, we can't say a lot of words like anxiety and depression. Like those words are off the map. We can't mention those, but we'll just say difficult emotions and you guys will understand what we're saying. So I was hearing all these testimonies and I was like, man, these people can't be making this up. And so I went to a Young Living conference and I heard someone speak on the science behind it. And I was like, oh my goodness, this makes so much sense to me now. And so basically, like, we wanted to talk a little bit about the science, very briefly. Don't want to overwhelm you. But then we want to share a few examples and a few oils that are our favorites for supporting emotions. So right quick, we have sensory receptors in our nose. And when you smell something, so say, I mean, it could be a bottle of essential oil or it could be fresh baked cookies or an apple pie or a perfume. Like it literally could be anything. When you smell that, any smell, it connects with the sensory receptors in our nose, and that travels to a part of our brain called the limbic system. And that part of the brain is responsible for mood and emotion, even sleep. And so that's kind of the science behind using essential oils for sleep is when you are smelling, you have a diffuser by your bedside, you're rubbing some on your chest. When you're smelling these essential oils, they're connecting with those sensory receptors, traveling to that part of the brain that for whatever oil it is, it might cause the brain to release more melatonin, just cause relaxation to the central nervous system, like whatever the effect is based on the specific oil. But that part of the brain is responsible for mood and emotion too, and even memory. So if you think about, I know for me, I studied abroad in college in Argentina, and I wore a perfume there that I wore it every single day. And now I don't, my perfumes are essential oil based, but this one was from Bath and Body Works. And now every time I smell that perfume, it takes me back to my house and my family and my room in Argentina. And that is that part of the brain working, that same part of the brain that's responsible for memory and emotion and mood. And so I think a lot of people can be like, I've heard that it can support, but I don't believe it. That's kind of where I was. I was using oils for everything else but emotions. And then, when you become a mom, I feel like if you didn't struggle with anxiety before becoming a mom, it really hits hard when you become a mom. And, since having my first 5 years ago, there have been moments where I've had moments of anxiety where my heart has been racing out of my chest, or I've just had feelings of real like overwhelm, or like, what if? I feel like that is a question that all of us moms face. And I'll start the snowball effect. Well, what if this happens? And then what if this happens? And then before I know it, it's like a terrible scenario that I've made up in my head. So what I'm able to do is just grab my favorite emotional oil. And again, we're going to share some ideas and how we use them. But I just grab it and I use it, and we're going to share more details about it, but it is so powerful. And what I try to do as I'm using my oils is just offer it up to the Lord and say, I'm really struggling with this anxiety right now. I don't feel like these oils are magical in any sense. I think that they are just plants that the Lord has created that have properties and have the ability to affect our bodies in powerful ways. And everything that God made has an energy. And when we are feeling negative, when we're feeling down in the dumps, when we're feeling anxious, our energy levels are down. Essential oils can be a huge support to us. So this is great for no matter the age. I can support my toddler's emotions with essential oils if they're having a tantrum. Peace and Calming is our number one tantrum oil. If I'm having a bad day, I can support my emotions, my husband, my grandma, my parents. It does not matter the age of the child. Even emotions as far as like teeny tiny babies. I didn't bring this one in with me, but Gentle Baby is a huge favorite for moms of young babies because it really helps with colic. And so it can help support even the tiniest of emotions. So this is good for everybody, and it's safe. It comes with no side effects. It is truly just a gift that the Lord has given us. So Desiree is going to talk a little bit about her favorites and how she uses them.
Well, first off, thank you so much for explaining that because sometimes we forget about that. Like, it's so weird. Hi, Sophie. It's so weird how, like, there is this science behind it. Like, I've totally felt that way before, too. Oh, it's not going to work. But then, using them and experiencing that, it's a lot different. But hearing the
Mm-hmm.
science is really nice. I think a lot of us need to hear kind of that factual way as well. So some of the different ways that I like to use oils, I like to use, like, if I only have a little bit of time, like some quick options could be like rubbing just like a drop on like the inside of my wrists and my palms and just inhaling that, just kind of like rubbing it together and just it's kind of like deep breaths, especially with stress. And that's just really helpful. A quick way. Another way would just be, of course, diffusing if you have a diffuser, and just using around like 10 drops is what I'll typically do. And then there's also rollers, which are nice. You can have those like a DIY roller pre-made and just grab it out of your bag and, rub it on, and that's really quick and easy. There's also clay beads actually, and I haven't ordered these, but I do want to give them a try because I've heard of people using them like in the car actually, like ones that can connect to your
Oh.
mirror instead of like the air freshener. And you can just drop like 1 to 3 drops of oils on that. And I really want to give that a try. So that's another kind of quick option. Some longer options would be things like a detox bath, which anytime I'm sick, like I will do a detox bath for myself, for my husband, like, oh, you're feeling sick? Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
rub you a detox bath. For my kids too, I do that as well. And it's so relaxing, especially
Mm-hmm.
like if you want to just do kind of like a soothing, relaxing one. Like if I'm really stressed, I will go and be like, I just need some time to wind down and I have a little bit of more time. So I'm going to go and get in the bath and use some oils. And it's just so, scent just really makes things so much better.
It does. I like
Yeah.
last a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was before Christmas. I did a Valor Bath, which is one of Young Living's most popular emotional support oils. But I just got a cup of magnesium salts and then put the Valor in there. And immediately when it hit the water, I was like, oh my, it's like an immediate effect
Yeah.
on you. It is so relaxing. Oh
And
man.
not even to mention, like, of course, all of the like scientific benefits, but just alone the scent, like it caused, just like you did and I did, it causes you to take a deep breath.
Yes.
And like taking deep breaths, I think we need to do that more.
I know. You realize how little, like, you actually take a nice, deep,
Mm-hmm.
life-giving breath. Like, we do shallow breathing so
Yeah.
often.
And
That's
it
such a good
benefits us
point.
so much too.
Yes.
Another way would be a like DIY massage oil. You know, like your partner can just give you a massage and use this oil, and it just can be so much more relaxing and enjoyable. And then also ingesting, like you can do in water or in tea or in food, like baked goods. And you just did some peppermint brownies, which that tasted really good.
Hmm.
So that was nice. I have a couple of oils that I typically go to in general when I'm feeling like stressed or down. And the first one would be lavender. Lavender is my go to for a lot of things, but it is so just calming and
Hmm.
peaceful. And I just immediately feel relaxed and like I can slow down when I use that. And not only it's something you can use throughout all times because it's kid safe as well. So I can be
Hmm.
diffusing that and not worrying about kids around or anything. It's just an immediate and wide range kind of use oil. So that's my first go to. And then another is bergamot, which I shared that with you recently. That
Yes.
bergamot just it's one of my favorite scents. I immediately feel just kind of like uplifted, a little lighter,
Yes. It is such a good emotional support.
Yeah, it smells so nice. Um, and it definitely is just, it's even energizing, honestly. Like,
Hmm.
I guess it's because of that citrus, it gives you that pep real quick.
Yeah, I
So, like,
agree.
combining the lavender and the bergamot, it relaxes you, but also gives you that little energy boost, which I feel like a lot of the times I'm stressed is because I'm overwhelmed.
And tired.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, lavender is calming me, and bergamot is just like, okay, you can do this.
That's such a good point. I love
So,
that.
yeah, combined, they are definitely the best.
Yeah, because when I'm feeling stressed or anxious, I can always trace it back to I haven't slept well. I haven't taken care of myself sleeping, which, also reminds me too, if you find yourself not sleeping well at night, you're just not a good sleeper, you don't sleep soundly. I used to think that I was a great sleeper outside of like kiddos. Like if I had a night where like kiddos didn't, I was like I lay my head on the pillow and I am out. I don't even hardly know most nights when I lay my head on the pillow. And even when I have a night where I sleep all the way through, if I use oils and I like, you can put even just lavender, like she was saying, on your shoulders or some of the other ones that we're going to mention on the bottoms of your feet or your shoulders or your chest, your wrist area. I like to use my hair as a diffuser. That's really nice. You also get lots of compliments like, man, you smell so good. What's that perfume? I'm like, it's all plants. But what I was going to say is on the nights that I use oils to help me sleep, I wake up feeling so much more rested. And so I know that it's doing something on my body level to help me get more of that deep REM sleep that I need in order to wake up feeling rested. And so I think, when we're having a moment of feeling stressed and overwhelmed or anxiousness, I think it's good for us to reach for our oils, but at the same time being preventative and like, what are some things that I can do at night before I go to bed to ensure that I get a good night's rest and set myself up for success. But obviously there are still going to be days where we feel like we're losing our marbles. And I think one really great recommendation that I would have for anyone who has oils, whether you're getting started or you've used them for a while, is just set your oils somewhere where you frequent in your home, whether that's like on your desk at work. But what I found is when I sit them out somewhere like by the water filter, or we have like a central station with a bookcase in our home, and it's kind of like the middle of the house. I'm passing it a lot during the day. And so when I pass my oils, or when I'm getting my water and I see the oil sitting there on the table, I'm able to just do an assessment of myself. Like, Hannah, how are you feeling today? Do you feel tired? Do you feel stressed? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel like you might be coming down with something? I think that's good for us to remember. And it creates a new habit too. Desiree and I have been talking a lot about this. Like, it takes 21 days to create a new habit?
It's 21 to 28, somewhere in there, but it's like, yeah, around 3 weeks.
Yeah. And so I think it can be difficult, like when we're used to like having a headache and reaching for a pharmaceutical versus reaching for peppermint or Deep Relief, one of my absolute favorites that Young Living offers. When we're used to reaching for a pharmaceutical, it's going to be like that's the habit that has been created over our lifetime. And so if we sit our oils out somewhere where we frequent, then we're reminded to use them, and we can create a new, healthier habit for 2022. So right quick, I'm going to mention a few of my favorites. I love Valor. I did not bring in here the kids version of Valor, which is a newer product to Young Living. It's called Kid Power. It smells so good. Like, it's a tie for both. I love them both, but there are times where I just really gravitate towards Kid Power. My girls really respond well to Kid Power as well. I'll use Valor on them, but every time I open up the Kid Power bottle, they are like, Mama, I love that so much. So it's been the first oil that they've actually responded to verbally, like, oh, I really do love that. And I think there is something to that, because there have been seasons over the past 5 years since I've started using oils where, I've grabbed an oil and I haven't necessarily liked the scent of it. And that's okay. You may not like it. So maybe try another one. It's whatever your body is gravitating towards. I think they all smell amazing, but you might find yourself gravitating towards one over the other on certain days or certain times of the month. But Valor it smells so good. This is one of Desiree's favorites too.
Yeah, I like that. Like, immediately, I was like, oh, yeah.
You can
Stop
see it's
teasing
blue.
me. I don't like
Look
it.
how
I don't have it. Yeah, that's
I
beautiful.
know. Look how
I feel like
pretty
I don't
that
have it
is.
right now. I'm bummed.
It smells so good. So I like Desiree mentioned, I love doing the scent tint and just sitting and calming myself. And again, like offering a prayer to the Lord of like, Lord, I need you to take this anxiety from me. Like, and my heart rate will decrease immediately. Like, it has an instant effect. There's also Stress Away, which smells so good. People call it vacation in a bottle. It's delicious smelling. Peace and Calming. This is another one that I use on the girls. This is the one I like to use for tantrum. So what I'll do is just take the lid off. And those are emotions. Everybody has emotions, no matter the age. And little toddlers have difficulty with their emotions a lot of times. But I'll take the lid off. I'll turn it upside down. And I'll just apply it wherever I can get it on them. If I can get it on their chest, I'll rub it on the top of their head, on the back of their neck. A lot of times during a tantrum, they're not wanting us to touch them. So I'll just put it wherever I can get it. And then I just start praying out loud for the Lord to bring peace over their little minds and their bodies. And every single time I've done this, I've been able to pick them up and they calm down immediately. And then we can go get something to eat or something to drink. It's usually a blood sugar. Like, usually when they start doing the tantrums, it's like, okay, it's time for the next snack or the next meal. And they're able to calm down enough to eat and do whatever we need to do. So I don't go anywhere without Peace and Calming. I wasn't planning to mention this one, but when I went to grab the others, I just had to grab this one. This one's White Angelica. This is one of my absolute favorites as well. It actually smells like what I would imagine angels to smell like. It's just so soft, and like it definitely smells better diffused than it does in the bottle. So if you get it and you're like, ooh, man, that's not so great in the bottle, it is heavenly in the diffuser. If you're watching and you've tried White Angelica, I would love to know what you think. It's a really, really, really calming one. I also really love Release. When we're thinking about emotions that are built up, Release is another one of my favorites. I love it in the diffuser at the end of a really long day, just to help release everyone's emotions so that you can get calmed down for bedtime. So if you have any questions about using oils for emotions, we would love to chat with you. Again, Desiree and I think both have this testimony of like being kind of iffy on using oils. Like, how does that really work? Does that really work? And it does. And I tell you, I always say kids cannot fake it. And so when my child's having a difficult moment emotionally, like even at night, I was going to share this too. Emmeth will have nightmares sometimes, and I'll either take Valor or Kid Power, which is the kids' version of Valor. Again, either one. And I will apply it to her chest, the bottom of her feet, and the back of her neck, and she calms down immediately and goes back to sleep. So those are kind of known as the courage oils, but also if you have a child that struggles with anxiousness or you yourself, a lot of times that can present itself during the night, and that's been a huge support for us, and it's allowed us to get sleep because it allows her to calm where she can go back to sleep. So we would love to help you get some oils to support your emotions. Please, please, please reach out to us. We would love to walk you through how to get the best bang for your buck. We are huge thrifters. We love to thrift. We love to save. I tell people I'm a TJ Maxx girl. When I go to TJ Maxx, I like to go to the clearance aisle. Like I like a good discount, and so we want to help you with that. And we also just want to stress the importance of purity and quality of essential oils. Not all essential oils are created equally. We've spoken about Young Living oils today, and this is a company that we love and trust and have seen great results with. So we would love to help you. If you place a 100 PV order, which PV stands for personal volume, each product is assigned a PV amount. So if you place a 100 PV order, you're going to get free shipping and a 24% discount. So I think what we could do, Desiree, is maybe post the link in the comments here for people to click on. But also we would love for you, just if you could shoot a message to either of us. We would love to help you just walk through how to save the most money and make sure that you're getting that 24% discount and the free shipping. And then there's an additional way to save 10% through Young Living's subscription box. It's completely optional, but it's a great way to start collecting some oils that you want to have in your home. Maybe you say like, I want to eventually get all of the oils that they talked about today, and I want to get some thieves cleaner. And because once you're getting toxins out of your home, this also is supporting your emotions. Toxins have a huge stress on all of our body, including our mental health. And so maybe you just want to slowly start ditching and switching. You want to slowly start accumulating some oils in your home. I would suggest to you that the Loyalty Rewards Subscribe to Save box would be a great option for you, because you're going to get that 24% discount and an additional 10% discount the first 3 months, and then it bumps up to 20% at the 4th month, and then 25% additional at the 2-year mark. And they send you free oils. So we can chat through all that in the DMs. I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much, but we are so passionate about this, and we feel like, you know, there are probably a lot of other moms out there like us that struggle and are looking for something natural to help support them. And so we would love to help you. The Holistic Nest, Autumn is saying, the reason I most often use oils for emotional support. It's so true. I'm using it more for that than I am other things. Desiree, do you have anything to add?
Just that if people are struggling with kind of figuring out, just kind of like what you were saying, how things can be overwhelming, like if they're struggling with like all the different types of oils, then definitely, yeah, like reaching out and messaging us, and we can help them, like guide them in the direction of exactly what would be a good oil for them to just get started with, so it makes it easier for them.
Yeah, I love that, because we both we remember what it's like to be new to oils, and it is overwhelming and it is intimidating. And we did just mention like 5 or 6 oils. And so if you're like, hey, I just want to get 1 oil or 2 oils, which 2 do you think I should start with? Like Desiree said, we would love to chat with you about, you know, what are your struggles specifically. And because I would say if you lean more towards depression and like struggling with just a low mood, like low energy, especially in the wintertime, then we might go more towards bergamot, which Desiree had mentioned, because citrus oils are huge mood boosters, energy boosters, and really, really effective for seasonal depression. So anyway, just give us a shout out. We would love to chat with you and help you decide which ones would be best for you.
All right. Well, I hope that you guys all have a blessed day, and we will talk with y'all soon.
All right. Bye, guys.